Hi guys, I'm Ethan West. Today we will discuss about 3 controls that you should pay attention to when we're talking about the ISO 27001 standard. Don't forget to like the QMS channel here, click on the bell, and share the news with your friends so that you'll be automatically notified whenever there's a new video on the subjects we talk about here. I wanted to comment to you on the first one here. When we're talking, it's not new to us. Those of us who have been working with information security for a long time already have this a bit ingrained, but it's the question of access control. It has varying degrees of difficulty. Sometimes you're starting out in your company, you and your partner. You give yourself and your partner access to everything. Then you have a partner, then you have a person, a financial analyst, plus an HR person. In other words, assuming that your company is growing, the complexities also increase, especially those of security, because you become more exposed to the issue of access management. I think the first is one of the most critical factors. When we're talking about information security and the standard, it provides very good and consistent controls for you to structure your processes properly. So, my first tip is to talk about access control. Understand the mechanism and flow of your company's business so that you can structure your process in the best possible way. Remember that the execution of access control is one thing. It's not information security, a security area, an access control area, or the technology area that will be responsible for guessing when someone joins or leaves the company. What do I mean by that? That there are ramifications and integrations of this process with other areas of the company, such as human resources or the management area, personnel department. In other words, there are various ramifications that the process is part of. That's why the issue of access control is interesting. Why is that? Because it checks. It's linked to various areas of the company, so it's important to structure a permission matrix. I'm sorry for those who have just joined the company. They have basic access to what they've been placed in an area, which area they'll have access to, what data they'll have access to, systems, and when they leave, they've been moved. You have to foresee how to remove those accesses and put in other accesses, because otherwise the person will go through the areas and just group accesses together and stay. Soon she'll have access to the whole company, and that's not right. If you think about it, she has access to a certain application, a certain system very well. She has various partitions, the various controls she has inside, that also need to be looked at more accurately, more precisely. What I also mean by this is that there are conflict matrices, access profiles, and these matrices in applications. They need to be properly worked on to check that the person doesn't also have a conflict with the functions or profiles they perform. So the question is very important. When we talk about access control, first of all, giving the right accesses, removing the right accesses so that no one is grouping accesses together. This goes back to a pillar, which is confidentiality. That is, people only have to have access to what they strictly need to pause their work for their end activity. That's one point. The second point that I think we should also comment on is the question of risks. Security risk management. We talk a lot about a process currently called TPRM, the acronym I have for pure risk management, which is supplier risk management. You have a little leg in there, which is information security risk management. So, as I said in a previous video, it's the companies. They assess the security risks that their suppliers bring to their business. So if you manage to properly implement a risk management process, it will help you to get back to a much higher level of maturity in terms of governance, information security, and you'll be able to connect to several of your other clients without bringing risks to them, which also gives you a better competitive with your clients. So, the question of risk management, even when you're filling in the declaration of applicability in an eventual audit, he's going to ask you, why are you telling me that this control hasn't been applied or has been applied? What risk analysis have you done to reduce it, and what have you identified as a potential risk of data leakage, loss of confidentiality, integrity, or availability. So, risk management. It has a very strong importance when we're talking here in the context of ISO 27001 and FAST here, of course. Here's the message I'm giving, but it's really to put a pin in your ear so that you can look for more information about it, of course. I look forward to hearing from you. And there's yet another third point I'd like to bring up here regarding cryptography. Since the dawn of information security, and you can't do security without encryption, if you're also talking about data privacy, you can't do anything without access control. What I've already said here is without data encryption. Everything you imagine, what you do today on the internet, on your cell phone, wherever you are surfing digitally, your information is very transparent to people, end users. It's very transparent, but it's all encrypted. There's no security without cryptography, so it's a complementary control to the access control itself. Because depending on the risk analysis you've done, you also need to implement encryption in your control or in your environment. So, to summarize, we have these 3 points that I wanted to bring up in this super quick chat: access control, risk management, and the issue of encryption for data protection. Thank you very much.